Hi, I'm Stewart Whicker from the Navsports Getting Started program. Today we're going to be talking with Melanie Cantwell. She is the business manager for Dragon Boat New South Wales. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Stuart.
Melanie, tell us about dragon boat racing in Australia.
Going back a little bit, dragon boat racing, or the sport of dragon boat racing, has been in Australia for nearly 25 years now, and I believe the first dragon boat race started in WA, and very quickly followed by a regatta that was held around Mrs Macquarie's chair. We obviously don't have events over there these days because it's a little bit rough, and so hence that particular event moved around into what's now Darling Harbour, Cockle Bay, for the annual Chinese New Year Dragon Boat Festival. Every state of Australia has dragon boating involved in it. Our last one to come online was Tasmania. As cold as it is, they do dragon boating there, as they do in Darwin and in the Northern Territory as well. We probably have over 5,000 members Australia-wide participate in the sport, and probably another 5,000 who we sort of deem as our social community type people who might participate in a once-off annual community type regatta. Within New South Wales, we have just over 2,000 registered members, with close to 40 odd clubs now registered in New South Wales, and we have that goal of getting 50 at the moment. So I think the 50th club's going to get a little golden paddle. But we go from our northernmost tip in Byron Bay to our southernmost tip in Merimbula, way out to Dubbo, and including down to Lake Gingerbine as well. Plus we have all our clubs and members based around Sydney as well. The spread in Sydney is basically, our main training base is at Pyrmont, Blackwater Bay, under the Anzac Bridge there. And then we have a club based over at Rose Bay, Port Hacking, Manly, Pittwater, Penrith, and at Rhodes.
We have a replica of a dragon boat here. How many people does it take to fill?
Stuart, a traditional dragon boat, we have 22 people in a dragon boat. We have our little drummer person who sits at the front and yells encouragement to the crew as they're racing down. We have our steer person, or sweep as we sometimes call them, who'll steer the boat hopefully in a straight line. And then you have 20 paddlers, so you have 10 rows of 2 people sitting side by side.
Fantastic. What's the boat made out of?
These days, traditionally they were made of wood, but these days they are actually made of fiberglass, and they're much lighter, a bit like those winged keels secret business. That the boats are getting much lighter now and built for speed. Wow,
coming up to modern day technology.
Most definitely. Paddles traditionally were made of wood. Now everyone's reverting to carbon fibre. Again, because they're much lighter and they slice through the water much quicker.
To get involved in dragon boat racing, what are the costs?
It varies a little bit from club to club. We obviously have an individual fee for belonging to New South Wales, which currently is $45 per person per year, or 50% of that.
That's pretty cheap.
It's for $45 an annual fee, because people can participate in our sport 52 weeks a year. It does get a little bit cold, but we just don the thermals and the woolen beanies, and everyone still gets out and paddles. So the fees are looking at changing a little bit for next season, but that's roughly what it is. That fee is obviously belong to New South Wales, which is our state body, and then each registered club with us will set their own club fee, which varies greatly from club to club. Some clubs are around the $100 mark, some clubs are over $200. It just depends how the clubs have set their fees.
Can you make a living out of dragon boat racing?
It's not a professional sport. We have no professional dragon boaters, so to speak. We all do it for the love of the sport.
Who are the world leaders in this sport? Being a Chinese tradition, are they leading the way?
Interestingly enough, no. We recently had the World Dragon Boat, or the 8th World Dragon Boat Championships here in Sydney last year, or out at the Regatta Centre at Penrith. We were very honoured to host the championships because it was the first time the World Championships had been held in the Southern Hemisphere. We had something like 16 countries from all over the world come to Australia and Sydney to participate, which was very exciting. I think it was over 2,000 people. Walking away from that, you will probably find the leaders in dragon boating, which probably is no surprise. You would be looking at the Canadians are certainly well up there. And
well, that's surprising.
Not really. They've got Canadians have a very big canoe kayak background, and canoe kayakers do make very good dragon boaters. So they are. The Canadians are very good dragon boaters. The Chinese are definitely up there. The Russians are a very strong competitive team as well.
Where does Australia fit in? What is our ranking in the world?
After the World Championships last year, Australia's ranked, I think, within the top 5 in the world.
Wow.
Which is, we had as one would expect, a bit like the Sydney Olympics, we did have the biggest contingent compete at a World Championships last year in Sydney, where we were able to field junior crews, which is 12 to 17. We had our premier crews, which is sort of everybody, I guess. We have our Masters cruise, which is the over 40s, and we have our Grand Masters cruise, which was the over 50s. And in fact, our Grandmasters women won the first gold medal for Australia at the World Championships last year. So they were very excited that all the Grandmas won their first gold medal. So and got to prove the young ones just how good they are.
So there's no age limit?
Definitely not.
How young can you be to get started?
Our minimum age is 12 years of age, and that takes in our junior, so 12 to 17 is our junior age bracket, which is basically high school.
If somebody wanted to get started in dragon boat racing, who can they contact? Do you have a national website?
We have both. We have our New South Wales website, which is www.dbnsw.org.au, or certainly our national website, which is the Australian Dragon Boat Federation. Their website is AusDBF, so ausdbf.com.au.
Okay, great. Do you have a phone number, New South Wales number?
Yep, people can just call 0418 480 731.
Fantastic. Melanie, thanks very much for participating in our Getting Started program.
Thanks very much for having us, Stuart.
For more information on how to get started in dragon boat racing, check out the national and New South Wales websites to the right of this video box. I'm Stewart Whicker. Thanks for watching our Getting Started program, and we'll see you next time.